Alrighty, today's the day I'm going to put the tomatoes in the ground in the cattle panel greenhouse. Pretty warm in here right now. It's about 80 couple degrees. It's not real warm outside, but it's mid-60s probably. But being in the greenhouse environment definitely makes things a little hotter. So we're past any chance of freezing inside here. And if it does freeze in here, I got heat I can turn on in here if I need to worry about it. So I'm going to take you through step by step on how to plant the tomatoes. These are just cherry tomatoes, is all I'm putting in here. So yeah, I'm going to go through step by step and show you every step of the way on how to plant these, how I plant them. It's the best way I've found. So yeah, maybe you'll learn something. Hopefully you do. Alrighty, I went through earlier and burnt all the holes for all the tomatoes that I'm going to put in here. And like I say, all these are cherry tomatoes. I'm going to put them on 18-inch centers. This first one's 12 inches from the end to here. The next one which you can't see in the hole, but it's 18 inches apart. 18-inch centers. I'm going to dig the hole. This soil's pretty decent soil. It's dry, as you can see. Oh, my arm's in your road, sorry. It's pretty dry. Not extremely dry, but it's hadn't been watered in a couple of weeks since I put the ground cover down. So I always like to plant them as deep as possible. Down on the other end, it's going to be kind of hard to plant them deep, as deep as I normally would like to. Just for the simple fact that that originally was a hugel mound. It's on the far end of clear on the far end of the tunnel here was a hugel mound. So there's wood. That wood is still there. Just under the soil surface. There, I took some of it out, but I didn't take it all out when I made the top of the greenhouse last fall. And the playlist to make the greenhouse, I'll link it in the description below on this video, and several other tomato videos. So right there you can see I'm probably 6 or 8 inches deep. Let me go just a little bit more. And plenty big enough for the. You can see this here compost soil I'm putting these in is pretty much been compost for the years and years and years over top of the added the raised beds. This used to be a raised bed garden. This is the first year that I've grown in a tunnel in here. We had celery lettuce and whatnot growing in here all winter. So that's the first step, is dig your hole as deep as you possibly can. Then I like to add a little bit of fertilizer to the bottom of the hole, which the fertilizer that I use, as you can see it right there, it is 1 part compost to 1 part worm castings. And then I have a bag of rock dust that I use. It's got a lot of trace minerals in it. And I use a couple handfuls of that. And I use some blood and bone meal. So I'll just throw a handful of that down in the bottom. Then I'll fill this hole up with water. You gotta make sure the ground's good and saturated. So let that drain out. And while you're waiting on that to drain, normally I would go through and dig the rest of the holes while I'm waiting on that and just drain them all at one time. But so now what I do is all of these spots right here, that's what they call suckers. I don't know if you know what that is. That'll actually become a whole nother plant. If you let that grow, you can cut them off and restart them as plants. I prune them off. I'll prune every one of those suckers off. See, there's no more suckers. Right there, I almost missed one. Sorry, you can't see me. Almost missed that top one. So there, I got all the suckers off this plant. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull this out of here I didn't water these yet this morning, so they're probably a little dry. Look at the root ball on that. Look at that. That's a nice root ball. So then take those lower limbs, just get rid of them. That plant really don't need them. I should have a pair of pruners, but I didn't grab a pair. So this was up potted twice since I started it. Now you can see I don't have anything up to here. I'm gonna put it in the ground. I'm not gonna brush the root ball up. I normally don't do that. And you can see right there how low that is. So then I put the soil in the bucket. I'm just gonna put this soil here back in it. There you go. So that's it. That's pretty much all I do every time when I plant tomatoes. Dig a hole as deep as I can, or as deep as, not necessarily as deep as I can. I could have dug a good ways yet. Put some good homemade fertilizer in the bottom, organic fertilizer in the bottom. Prune it up, water it in good, then water it again. So as you can see, it's pretty moist in there now. It ain't taking this water here up. They still need a good drink. So I'm going to go through and do this exact same method 17 more times, or no, 15 more times, sorry. I got 16 total to put in, so I got to do this 15 more times, and then I'll come back and explain to you about pruning them, and then I'm going to get the twine and start hanging them. So stick. Alrighty, I got all the tomatoes put in that I'm going to put in and watered. You can see how good you can see that or not. They're all watered. I've cut 16 in here. 8 of them are super sweet 100s and 8 of them are sun sugars. So how I hang them is with these. I'm not sure what these are called. I got these from Johnny's. They just got a thing on there with twine, and they got a gear there that catches so the twine can only go so far when you hang it over something. But if you squeeze this in, then it'll release it. I think there's like 100 foot of twine on these. I've had these for 3 or 4 years. I reuse them. I've had some of the twine I've had to get rid of and reuse or throw out, but there's plenty on here. And then you can buy other twine and rewrap them with. But these here work good. So I'm going to hang these. I'll show you here back here. Hopefully you can see it good. I'm going to hang them. They just clip right over top of the. Cattle panel. So this clip will clip on the twine, just like that. Then when you squeeze it, then the twine can't come through, and this clips around the tomato stem. Then every week when you prune your tomatoes, you just twist it up around. So you see me do it all. See me plant one, dig a hole, dig my holes about so deep. Of course, depends on how big your tomato plants are. The tomatoes I put in that'll go in down below, they won't be as big as these were. These I started really early in the year. So the ones that I put in down below won't be near that big. Now, and I won't, tomato plants are pretty tough. You can tell they'll tolerate about anything. So I'll show you how to prune those throughout the season. I'll show you how we harvest them, and we'll keep them going. So tomatoes are easy to grow. So that's just how we do it. That's the best way I've found. They produce amazingly well like that. Like I said before, I've never done them in a tunnel. This is the first year. I just need to put the irrigation in. So that's going to wrap this one up. So if you like the video, please like the video. If you aren't subscribed, please click right here and subscribe. And please click right here and watch the video that YouTube thinks you're going to like from dhtnursery/farm. Till we meet again, take care and God bless.